The sixth installment in the Jurassic Park/World franchise trades dinosaur thrills for a whole herd of mistakes. From continuity errors to plot holes and baffling character choices, this video puts them all front and center, though some are almost impossible to miss. Fair warning, there will be spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. Although the title card for the present-day transition mentions disease as bringing a new wave of extinction to the dinosaurs, which is a completely justified factor, both it and Dr. Henry Loomis also cite modern-day climates as another main cause.
Pretty close to the equator.
Why near the equator? Why don't they survive anywhere else?
The fitness landscape of the Earth no longer suits them. The air is different, solar radiation is different, the insects, vegetation, everything is different. But close to the equator,
It's nearly the climate of 60 million years ago. It's warmer and rich with oxygen.
However, all three species shown would be well suited to the tropics and warm subtropics of today, which cover a massive portion of the world. There's no scientific basis for oxygen levels being a factor in the dinosaurs' re-extinction either, and previous films in the series also contradict this idea by showing them surviving in a variety of geographies. Although this is presented as an Easter egg to the original Jurassic Park T-Rex car chase, this warning should not appear on the flat driver's side mirror. The warning would only ever be required on the passenger side convex mirror to increase the driver's field of view and reduce blind spots.
Must go faster.
This is also a mistake in the original Jurassic Park.
Quetzalcoatlus is the largest pterosaur.
When Henry is in his museum showing the skeletons of the dinosaurs they need samples from, the skull of the Quetzalcoatlus is depicted with the same exaggerated crest as the mutant one seen later in the film, rather than an anatomically accurate version. A non-mutant Quetzalcoatlus skull would not have a crest on its beak, and the museum specimen should have reflected this. At the beginning of the movie, Île Saint-Hubert is said to be 226 miles east of French Guiana, yet in neighbouring Suriname, Duncan talks about looping up toward Barbados.
Great. Loop up toward Barbados.
This is about 600 miles to the north, an absurd detour. On top of this, Suriname's official language is Dutch, but the background actors are speaking something entirely different that doesn't sound like Dutch at all. When the group is shown on the sailboat, the close-up shots of the characters show the sails flapping loosely, meaning the boat isn't really being sailed. In the wider shots, though, Ruben is replaced at the helm by a yachtsman, and the sails are properly set so the boat moves correctly.
Fella, grab the wheel.
After the boat is rocked by the Mosasaurus, Ruben hangs from a harness to inspect the side of the vessel. In reality, this would be highly ill-advised. Most sailors would sail away from danger and wait to inspect their boat safely in port. A full-keel sailboat wouldn't stay on its side after being knocked over either. It's designed and weighted to straighten itself back up.
Can we get the tracking map up, please? We're not gonna forget that.
But can you just drop us
Is
off?
that it?
It's hard to tell. Software's ghosting. It's doubling the signal.
Maybe it's just echoing off our boat.
That's not an echo, that's two signals.
One of the signals is the Mosasaurus, but we never find out what this second signal is. The Spinosauruses show up a while later, and there are multiple of them. While extracting the Mosasaurus sample, it shoots into the air and parachutes back down toward the deck. A voice yells, but port is the left side of the boat, and Henry is clearly on the right, or starboard side, when catching the sample.
What the hell are you doing this far out with a little kid?
What is your problem?
The problem is you should have known better.
How?
Mom's
Mom's never gonna trust you with us again.
Oh, God, no.
When Reuben injures his leg while rescuing Bella during the Spinosaurus attack, he tells her,
Oh, I can't move my leg, honey.
followed by,
Listen to me. We're going in the water now. Yes, the boat's gonna crash. We have to. Your sister's there, you understand? Hey, I've got you.
moments later, he jumps into dinosaur-infested water with her, with a leg he can't move. Even with the damage it sustains, staying on the boat would have been far safer. Duncan later instructs the group to abandon ship in shallow water where the Mosasaurus cannot follow.
Zora! They can't go in the shallows! Jump, go! Jump!
But the Spinosauruses, which should still be a threat, have vanished. That is, until the group makes it to shore, where one reappears, having conveniently been absent while the characters were jumping from the boat. The boat then crashes relatively safely onto shore. Reuben is shown kicking his legs and swimming without issue when he regroups with Teresa and Xavier. Soon after, though, he suddenly needs a crutch and Teresa's help to move through the jungle. After Xavier falls off a cliff and the others inexplicably leap after him, Reuben is once again shown swimming without issue and even outmaneuvering the T-Rex. His leg then appears fully healed by the gas station sequence. He is able to run from dinosaurs and even brace himself in a doorway with his legs.
No. Hey, back off!
When Teresa falls from the boat and pleads for help, Krebs' facial expression in the shot is completely bizarre and out of place, making the moment unintentionally funny.
More like mutations.
What do you mean mutations?
Abnormalities, deviations.
I know what the word means. What does it mean here where we are?
So this island was a laboratory of sorts. They conducted experimental work here. Crossbreeding of species.
Genetically altered freaks?
Any that were malformed or just too damn hard for anybody to look at. They left them here.
It is stated that the island is where ugly genetically modified dinosaurs were created and abandoned, yet the T-Rex appears completely natural and unmodified.
Does anyone want to hear the backup plan? I hired an exfil team to monitor our boat's radio frequency. So if we go silent for 24 hours, we'll do a flyby at exactly sunset on the second night.
Zora says the exfiltration team she hired will arrive at exactly sunset. But when they show up, it is already fully dark and has been for some time.
It's a helicopter!
The grass that isn't even as tall as Zora, played by 5'3" Scarlett Johansson, is somehow able to completely conceal the gigantic Titanosauruses that appear moments later. Also, Henry says this about the Titanosauruses a few scenes prior to this one.
What are the last two species?
Titanosaur and Quetzalcoatlus. An 11-ton sauropod and a pterosaur the size of a school bus with 30-foot wings.
There's no way that these weigh just 11 tons, which is around the weight of 2 African elephants. The ones depicted here are closer to 60 to 80 tons. Duncan's crew only bring a single gun with them on their journey to an island known to be filled with carnivorous dinosaurs, and not even basic tools for moving through the dense jungle, not a machete or anything similar. Zora does have some wire cutters, which she uses on a fence the group could have simply climbed through without them. Krebs later finds a pistol in the hand of a corpse in a long-crashed helicopter. Despite having been there for many years, possibly close to the 17 years the island has been abandoned, the weapon looks brand new, showing no rust or damage from the hot, humid climate. Later, when Zora uses this pistol to save the family from a dinosaur, she fires until it runs out of bullets. Instead of locking open like every semi-automatic pistol from the last century should, the slide stays forward and she's shown pulling the trigger repeatedly. In reality, once a pistol of this type is empty, the slide locks back and the trigger cannot be pulled again until the gun has been reloaded and the action reset. When Teresa goes to get the raft, it isn't raining where she is on the opposite side of the river, while across the water her family are clearly standing in the rain with visible drops hitting the surface. The river near Teresa remains perfectly still. When she inflates the raft, the T-Rex disappears unrealistically quickly and silently. and the oars for the raft suddenly appear despite not being packaged with it, and Teresa never retrieving the ones mounted on the plane. As the family rows away from the T-Rex, which keeps changing size throughout the scene, they begin rowing upstream in calm water, only for the river to instantly turn into a fast downstream current once their raft is flipped. To top it off, the T-Rex, whose bite force is estimated at over 4 tons, is unable to puncture the inflatable raft. Maybe a weak bite is the mutation scientists engineered for this T-Rex. When rappelling down the cliffside to reach the Quetzalcoatlus' nest, Zora is wearing gloves, which she removes upon landing. Moments later, however, she is shown wearing the gloves again. Henry drops at least 100 feet from the pterosaur nest, slamming through several trees before crashing into a small pool in the jungle below. Yet he climbs out completely unharmed, and unbelievably, his glasses are still on his face. During the gas station attack, Duncan and Henry escape into the laboratory, where they discover a small boat at the docks.
The tunnel leads to the ocean. There's a boat.
At this time, Krebs is still outside with Zora by the car he soon drives away in. He later rendezvous with the others at the boat, despite having no way of knowing it existed. When the family are inside the gas station, they see liquid flowing into a floor grate. As they go through the grate and climb down the ladder, it is even shown pouring down onto them. Yet once they reach the tunnels beneath, the passageways are completely dry. You can hear the helicopter blades spinning right up until the moment the aircraft is revealed in the D-Rex's mouth. Realistically, the blades would have shredded its face, yet it doesn't have a single mark. The D-Rex also appears far larger here than it does for the rest of the film. Its head looks massive compared to the helicopter, but later seems much smaller when shown alongside Krebs. When Duncan distracts the D-Rex with a flare, Zora's face is brightly illuminated in the close-up. Even when Duncan and the flare are underwater and the surface above is dark, the close-ups of the sisters and Zora still show them lit up by the flare. When Duncan resurfaces, he is much farther away with the D-Rex between him and the group, yet in the next close-up, Zora is still inexplicably illuminated by the flare. Despite their original vessel being destroyed by the Mosasaurus and Spinosauruses, none of the characters show any concern about being attacked again when they set out to sea once more, even though those same creatures should still be a major threat. Finally, Bella still has the baby dinosaur in her backpack. If the climate and oxygen levels are supposedly fatal to these animals, why is she taking it back home with her? Those are all the errors in Jurassic World Rebirth. If I missed any, be sure to drop them in the comments. They could feature in a future video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. A special for Halloween, the Terrifier trilogy.